back here on Carolina Women. Cathy Ulmer still with us, and we were talking about women's health, and we've sort of shifted, shocking.
Yes, we
Talking-
bounce around a lot.
Talking about some supplements, and I think it's really interesting. My daughter's in her mid-40s and was told that vitamin B12 was low on her panel, and that vitamin B supplements are really, 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 really important.
There are. I mean, there's.
What does B do?
Yeah, that's
so
what
B
I want to know.
Usually provides a lot. Like it's usually used for energy, general well-being. I mean, I usually people are looking for energy.
Okay.
B12 is kind of like a lot of people take it sublingual, kind of just even those like 5-hour energies I think are full of vitamin
Whereas
B.
D would be more like immune health.
D is like immune health or skin health, things like that. So B complex is where people like a lot of times just fall into it because they're like, oh, I'm going to get a little bit of all the Bs. There isn't like a lot of differentiation between all the Bs.
Are we
B12,
deficient as a
really,
whole though? Are women deficient in Bs?
I don't
because
think
of
that
like
there's
diet or
I don't think there's a huge deficiency, but I think that a little bit extra B probably couldn't hurt. It's usually in your multivitamins, and if again, like if you get a panel or something, it'll tell you if your B is low. But there's also this thing with methylated vitamins that is really so if you were to actually have your genetic testing done, you might not methylate B12. So this cyanocobalamin.
Explain what methylate is.
It's a way of like altering, converting the medication into an absorbable form.
Okay.
Right? So methylated and a lot of drugs like folate and B12 particularly are kind of the ones that we see the most. They're not methylated, you're not going to absorb it.
Okay.
Got it.
So like the B12 that most of us see over the counter is cyanocobalamin, which is not methylated, but we methylate and we absorb it. So it's it's cheap, tends to be the one that we get.
Okay.
Now there's methylated B12. But it's typically more expensive and harder to find. But I've had so many patients recently come in and say, I had a test done so that I don't methylate. So they're looking for this methylated folate.
Specific
or
kind.
B12.
So we take it at night? Like, have you ever thought about like, should I be eating breakfast with this? Should I be doing it on an empty stomach? Is there something to that? When or how?
Yeah, I mean, with vitamins, not really.
I just
throw it on back.
I mean, if you're going to use your B12 for energy, then I would take it
during the day.
day.
Morning.
Yeah.
Duh.
So specifically Bs, I tell people to take earlier in the day.
Use
but if it's in your
common
multivitamin, just take it anytime.
Why would someone take a B injection versus an oral B or a sublingual?
Either just preference or they need it levels to rise higher, faster. So the same thing, you got oral, you have injectable, and you have sublingual.
Okay.
So if you take oral, it's gonna take a while. It's gonna be, go through your gut and be absorbed. If you do sublingual, you're gonna get the B levels to go up a little bit faster. So a lot of times they'll use B12 sublingual to just get that burst of energy versus injectable. Like you're going straight getting into your bloodstream, so you're gonna see those levels get, you're not gonna lose a whole lot. So you'll get higher.
When we talk about taking supplements, is there one multivitamin that you really recommend that is comprehensive? Or is it something we come in and talk to you about, depending on our age and what our needs are?
I mean, I'm always telling people, just a 1-a-day multivitamin, the generic, is a good starting point.
Can Maria
it's
take
cost
the same one as us, though?
Well, then we look at like 1 a day over 50, 1 a day women's, and I use 1 a day not because 1 a day is like the brand that I'm looking for,
but
it's just a multivitamin, and if the 50-year-olds will give you extra vitamins for over 50, the women's will give you extra vitamins for women. So you kind of do as you're looking at them, you don't want to get a prenatal vitamin, but then some women do want a prenatal vitamin because they need the extra folic acid, or they want the extra stuff to grow their hair, things like that. So a prenatal vitamin could be given to a woman who's not pregnant. So, there's a lot of aspects of multivitamins. Just a good one is really.
And we've only got 30 seconds. Important. This is not the time, but I always wonder what the criteria is. How do I know if my vitamins are working? Is it strictly anecdotal how
It's
it feels?
really anecdotal. I mean, but
we
like,
probably
even
shouldn't
when
order
I
them
give it
off
to my
Amazon,
kids,
should we?
And they actually take their vitamins. They look like, and they act like they feel and have more energy. Because if they're down, I'll be like, "Have you been taking your multivitamin?" And they're like, "Oh no," and I'm like, "Take that,
Take that.
take
I
that."
think that's
So it's
great
not
advice.
the Flintstone vitamin of yesterday anymore.
Well, I mean, I give my kids Flintstones.
Do you
That's
really?
right, yeah.
There you go. I love it. It's always fun to talk to you. We want to thank you,
Yes.
you, and all of you for joining us here on Carolina Women.